challenge. Segment pauses to think and concludes that he can't reach his goal with something that isn't good enough, and he doesn't have much time to save Sogo. He tells Murshi that she has to become stronger, but he doesn't know what he needs to do to become stronger. He asks Murshi if she can give him what he needs. Murshi thinks for a moment and realizes that what Sungmin needs is time, and she can grant that wish. She tells him to go teach Rimor and show a crest to Denier, who is the god of time. He will give Segment a trial. Compared to Denier, Mercy's trials are considered humane. This statement highlights the torture that is waiting for some men. But given some men's sadistic traits to drive himself to his limits, he is probably going to like that. First, she explains that just like in this place, what he obtains will be entirely up to him. And of course, it will also be extremely perilous. This is Sungmin's reward for overcoming flaw. Next is the term for his reward for his 3 years. Mercy snaps her fingers and a person appears with his head bowing down. He introduces himself as the broker of Erebrisa, Neville. Mercy recommends Sungmin to become a member of Erebrisa. The broker eyes Sungmin up and down. He turns around and tells Mercy that Sungmin isn't qualified to become a member. Mercy tells him to look again, carefully. Sungmin feels like he is an object placed under a microscope. Neville's gaze pierces through him, and he bows his head to apologize for underestimating him. He made a hasty decision when he saw that his current level of martial arts wasn't very high. Sungmin has no clue what's going on, and rather feels insulted by that remark. He confidently says that given his age and the level of martial arts, he would be treated very well wherever he goes. He asks Neville what makes his guild so special that he is disregarding his skills. Neville explains that Erebrisa is an intermediary guild that mediates anything that clients desire. They handle everything from mission assignments, auction, information, to various other things. Sungmin asks him that if they conduct auctions, do they sell elixirs and manuals of secret techniques as well? Neville snaps his finger in a fancy manner to tell Sungmin that he's right. Sungmin is shocked when he checks the manual and finds out that even the Great Pill of Sorum is for sale, and they're pretty expensive too. These pills are usually never sold for money. There are many other unique items, such as the expertise of Erebrisa. Sungmin asks Mercy if he is a member as well, and the latter replies that he is a regular. The guild that even has deities as a sponsor. Neville extends out his hand with respect and asks Sungmin if he would like to go. He nods his head and thinks to himself that since there is nothing to lose,
Welcome to the stream, baby.
Unexpected of business deals, Neville quickly comes up with a lot of paperwork and a pen to have Sungmin sign them. After that, he officially became a member of Erebrisa. Neville snaps his fingers and changes Sungmin's entire outlook while saying that this is on the house. He now has a good fit and short hair. Basically, he doesn't look homeless anymore. Mercy jokes that she was getting upset about Sungmin copying her broke look. Neville leaves after telling Sungmin that he can call his name in his mind whenever he needs him. Mercy asks Sungmin if he likes the gift, and the latter replies that he is satisfied. Mercy reminds him that this is a tremendous feat, and he should be celebrating instead of standing still like a zero IQ mannequin. She asks him where he's headed now, and Sungmin responds that his goal now is begging her. Mercy's parting words to Sungmin are to follow his heart, and not to forget that there is a reason for his return.
Hey, what's up, Kung Fu Panda? How are you doing tonight? Doing some Kung Fu?
He keeps thinking about what Mercy said. If what she said is true, then he knows that every lucky thing that has happened, like getting Oion and receiving hope from Sogo and others, weren't mere coincidences. He starts questioning who is arranging this.
By the way, thank you for saving all of China for 4 consecutive movies.
He decides not to think about the topic.
Where are you from, Kung Fu Panda? Also, thank you for the follow. By the way, this is tobacco. Kids, don't do it. Don't smoke. Asia? For real? Or are you role playing with me? Okay, I want to be Tigress then. But if you're not role playing with me and you're in Asia, that is very cool. I love it. I've never been to Asia, but I hope I am able to visit some of the countries in Asia, like Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Japan, I would like to visit China, but I'm not sure I want to do it right now. Um, yeah, I mean, Asian countries, a lot of them have incredible archaeological sites and obviously very beautiful natural places like forests and stuff. So that's why I want to visit there. By the way, I'm from Latin America. I'm from Mexico specifically. Are you wait, right now it's night for me. So it should be early for you, right? Maybe like around 8 a.m. It's 11:50. Oh man. Well, I was kind of far with my. I wanted to say 9 first, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna say 8. But 1:50 a.m. Very nice. And you are just starting your day, basically. I don't know about you, but I like my favorite time of the day is early morning. So from like 6 a.m. to like 9 or 10 a.m. It's my favorite time of the day. It's just it feels so energetic. Everything's so clean. Everything's new. Yay! And then my second favorite part of the day is from 9 to like 11. Then by 12, I get sad. For some reason, I start getting sad in the afternoon, and then I get happy again when it's night. I don't know why that happens, but does anyone relate? No, just me. If you're dead. So, Kufu, what is your number one hobby? What is your number one hobby? And what is your what is your favorite hobby? And what is your favorite color? We're just gonna start with easy questions, okay? It's a big W. I'll wait for your answer. By the way, while you think about your answers, I just want to say, ain't it amazing? After all these years, watching traveling football nowadays, and favorite color is blue. What shade of blue? Is it a light blue, like the one right above my finger? Is it more of a darker hue, like the one right above my finger? Or is it even a little bit darker? Maybe kind of going towards violet? No, more like this, or like this. Light to moderate, probably not darker. Yes. Okay, I get it. One of my favorite colors, baby blue. I'm like a baby blue, baby pink enthusiast. Enthusiast. And the traveling food blogs, are you then particularly interested in cooking? Do you like cooking? I do like cooking, but I prefer cooking things that go with meat because I love meat. It's my favorite food ever. Sorry. You do try it sometimes? Nice. I mean, Asian food. The Asian food that I've tried, I've always liked. So it's good. I think if I don't know, have you ever tried Mexican food? Because I'm pretty sure if you tried Mexican food, you would like it. It kind of shares some similarities um, with Asian food, in my opinion. Right? I'm no expert, but from what I've eaten, yeah. Don't you think it's so amazing that okay, for you it's 11:50 a.m. To me, it's like 11 p.m., right? Or like 10:50 p.m. So we have a 13-hour difference and we have a thousands of miles of difference geographically between you and me. Culturally, of course, right? You and me 50 years ago would have never even had a conversation, okay? Now it's 2024. I can talk to you through the magical window that you're looking at. Tacos and tequila only trying to get so far now. Well, tacos certainly are one of the prime exports of Mexico. And if you ever get to come to Mexico, I would hope that you try the tacos here because they are fucking excellent. The tequila, I'm not really a drinker, but I understand the drinking. So I'm happy that you tried it. I would hope that you also try something called pozole because you probably would really love it. In Hi Drink Alone 3, Mexican food, what's that like? It's a lot of meat, um, a lot of fresh vegetables as sides, and then you also have a little mix of dairy with like cheese or cream, like dairy cream. You also have what is it? Well, I mean, you get a lot of sauces that are stupendous, really. Yeah, dude. Okay, so most basic thing that you can look up carne asada. Just look that up, or look up birria de res. Which birria de res is like birria is the plate. It's like the thing. Okay, hope you're back soon, Panda. Okay, so birria and pozole, that both of those dishes are that's the name of the dish, right? But they're both prepared with cow's meat, right? And carne asada is just your regular Mexican barbecue, basically. What makes it special is the flavors that are coming into the mix, right? If you like avocado, you are definitely gonna love guacamole. And a lot of you probably already know guacamole. But if you've never tried Mexican food from Mexico, or if you are in the U.S., Texas is the only place that I've been to in the U.S. that actually has meat and vegetables and like the whole food. The Mexican food there tastes like Mexican food. Everywhere else I tried Mexican food in the U.S., it's not close, dude. Like any taco stand will run laps in flavor and just like general delight of the food. Any taco stand will run laps around the most professional Mexican restaurant. Like I don't know, I fuck. There's a I think it's called Bess or something. It's a Mexican restaurant, like something Mexican fusion restaurant in Philadelphia. I don't remember the name though. I'm not rich enough to like avocado. I had to skip on avocado toast to be able to afford rent. Hey, I like that meme. Hey, well, hi, Mank. How are you doing? Shomirik, you having a good night? Check your Twitter, send your message to your last one, follow you, that's me, I'll talk to you to support you. Okay, thank you, Meg. Give me a chance. Let's see what Meg wants to share with us. Don't worry, guys. I will protect you if it's something that's not safe for work. I'm sorry, drink, but it's a good thing. Avocado plants are easy to grow. I'm already growing like 3 or 4 of them, and I just throw them out. I just throw them out in like the pots, and you know, whenever I eat an avocado, I clean it. I clean it out and just like take the seed and throw it in the ground. Is it wrong? I don't want your protection. Let's go, because I'm gonna get banned. I'm also protecting myself, guys. Remember that I drink alone. Other than drinking, what is your favorite hobby, Mister I Drink Alone 3? Let's see. Messages, no messages. Maybe I should look in the. I don't see any. Thanks, Meg. I don't know. Let me check on my tablet. Maybe it's not loading correctly or something. I don't see any new followers. Which, really, guys, I wouldn't want you to follow me on X anyway. Okay. Sorry. I think I might need to change my my tapping a little bit. Also, in the interest of you're not getting badges, thank you, thank you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go change my shirt because this shirt is not gonna cooperate tonight. I present you little Miruñita. She likes to be here with me when I'm streaming. Let's go. Wait. No, but thank you. I know. Hi, Shumirik, and hi, Milesenberg. How are you doing? Okay, so quick question to everyone. Please, favorite hobby, favorite hobby. If it's gaming, I'm good with it. I also like gaming. Okay, so there's not gonna be any shaming. Yeah. So favorite hobby and favorite color. We already went through this with Kung Fu Panda earlier in the stream. And I get to be a gunslinger. Meisenberg, you are right. Kick is a little taste of the old internet for Zoomers. Because if you were born like after what? If you were born after 2006, I think you really lost out on the Wild West internet. I mean, you guys really don't understand how easy it was to get everything. Like, it used to be part of the internet's culture that you would pirate everything that you could think about. It was like if you saw a new game being advertised, if you saw a new show, if you saw like, especially with like software, dude, getting Adobe programs and plugins that were like $300 and like whole libraries of assets and a shit ton of things that were worth like thousands of dollars by itself. You could just download it. Now it's so hard to like pirate stuff, unless you know how to torrent and all that. But that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot of work now compared to what you could use. What you could do back then. You could also say whatever. Yes, yes. I cook to relax and then fill up my fridge, freezer, and have to spend a couple weeks doing nothing but eat before I wish I could do that. I drink alone because I've planned it out. I tried to do it. It works for a couple days, but then I can't keep it up. But you are on the right track, by the way. Like, try to say that JKR is a nowadays, and people get uppity. I don't know who JKR is. Oh, JK Rowling is a con nowadays, and people get uppity. I mean, the lady is just. People should be a lot more respectful, just in general. Because I think, like, a lot of the issues now, it's just if you could boil it down to what is the actual issue, is that there's a lot of people that just don't exercise like basic common sense when it comes to other people. It's like just be respectful. Of course, if someone is an asshole directly to you, maybe you can say something, but you also don't want to escalate things, and yeah, it's a whole bunch of things. Good old times of the 50/50 line wire downloads. Yes, half the time you got music, half the time you got viruses. But 100% of the time, okay, because I killed a couple of my dad's computers when I was growing up. Okay, I'm sorry, but after that, I became really good at spawning fake, fake archives or like fake download links, and I could download. I could download anything, everything, and I never got a virus after. Like a little trial and error. Yes, yes, of course. Look, I'm first on free speech, other than like enforced enforced safety, which is kind of like what we have now, which is like, oh, you have to respect this thing that you don't agree with, while it's screaming in your face that it hates you, because if not, you're gonna go to jail. Not because it's the right thing to do, not because you understand why respect should be exercised or whatever, right? It's because it's enforced, and that's never a good way to get to get about things, to go about things. I am okay. I mean, look, I understand that by the nature of my being, a lot of people won't like me, not because of who I am as an individual, but because of the way that I look or the way that they may perceive me, that has nothing to do with who I am. But here's the thing. All of my life I've been an outcast, and all of my life I've been rejected, even when I was trying to be a normal person, right? So after so many backstabbings and beatings and dissolutions, you know what? I just I decided to like just be okay with it. Like, people are gonna come for me whatever I do. But what matters is that what I am doing, what I know that I'm doing, when I'm thinking about things, when I'm when I'm interacting with other people, I'm not entertaining negative ideas. I am actually trying to be really positive with people. In if someone comes to me in like a friendly manner, I'll be friendly, I'll be okay, right? If you come for me and you try to be an asshole, then of course I'm gonna defend myself, you know. Save the whales for Tibet. I mean, look, Tibet has to save itself, and the whales, Well, we shouldn't be killing whales. That is true. Cheers to everything you just said. These are actually good things, man. Look, I'm yeah, and I guess I am a little pervert. You know, I mean, I'm old enough, and you know, it's just life. Thank you for respecting my username. Not that you need to, right? If you don't like it, I tell you what isn't a good thing. Ooh boy, Trump for president. Trump for president, dude. I'd rather have Trump than Kamala. You are not gonna sell me. Never gonna sell me on fucking Kamala Harris. She's always been a snake. She is literally the archetype of the cackling politician with the fake laugh. That's actually like a demon. It's like it's so surreal seeing it happen. It's like, really, you hate Trump, the guy that's been like persecuted, obviously persecuted. It's like if you're actually keeping track of the facts of like what things are happening and none of the words that people are saying, right? Because one thing, like I can tell you one thing, but then if you look at the results and you judge me based on the results of my actions, and then you catalog, right? You keep track of those results. Every time I'm taking an action, you keep track of the results. And then you can also keep track of what I'm saying, right? So it's easy. You can tell when someone is a liar and when someone is a cheat. It's easy, but of course, a lot of people are just ideologically brainwashed. Brainwashed. Holocaust Harris. I mean, really, here that's the thing, right? The way I act and like the way I've always been hasn't really changed unless it was to like tweak a little bit me being an asshole. Because at some points in my life, I've been an asshole to others, just like others have been assholes to me. So I also try to give more people the benefit of the doubt and try to see the context that they are coming from before actually seeing them as enemies. You know, it's like to actually communicate with other people and to have a meaningful conversation that actually leads to a resolution, you have to be able and you have to be willing to look at things from the perspective of the other person. Even if you don't fully agree with them, you can still understand them, right? And then you can try and get to the core human aspects that are motivating, those things, and then try to find the resolution that way. But if you look at the general discourse, that's never the way that things are handled. It's always ad hominem. It's always just remarking how wrong you are, and then diminishing anything good that the enemy. I don't know. Like you guys know it. I don't have to go over it. Stein seems okay. I don't know who Stein is. In the Holocaust. Look, guys. I said, and I said this years before, and because I just looked this up. I looked up how many. And look, dudes, I wasn't even trying to look for anything, but I remember I looked up which type of Jews were the ones that died the most during World War II. And guess what? It was the Jews that made up the poorest section of their population. So, in my opinion, the rich Jews basically just sacrificed the poorer ones to like clean out their own pool, and then they just paid their way to America and Latin America and other places. Literally. And then think about it. It's a perfect plan. It's like you sacrifice the poor's, then you also win a golden ticket, right? That you can just it's like a card. It's like a credit card that you can cash in every time someone wants to criticize you, someone wants to like say anything wrong about you or like call you out for being an asshole, not because you are Jewish, but because you're a fucking asshole. You just you just bring out the card and it's like, oh, sorry. I'm just glad I'm not. Hold that thought. I mean, look, we have to look at historical results, which once again, we can apply what I said earlier, right? If you get kicked out of all places, and then if I meet you like on a personal level, a lot of the people kind of have wonky beliefs. It's like maybe the ancestors were onto something. I mean, look at their cities standing 1,000 years after they're gone, withstanding wars and weather and other people, right? And look at our cities now. They don't even last 10 years. So they may be on something. I'm just glad I'm not in the States so I don't gotta deal with this kind of politics. Look, the politics are standing everywhere. That's the truth. I stayed silent for a long time because I didn't want to be singled out at that time, but now it's the time to really to really bring to like really say your thing because silence is what has allowed places like the UK to become like literally slowly conquered by a culture and a religion that despises them. It's like imagine a country is your house, right? And you're inviting people that you know hate you. That it's like you come into your house after a long day of work and then you find Muhammad pissing in front of your TV or some shit, or like shitting on on your pork salad or some shit, right? And you're like, well, I should bring his cousin until they stab you. Might be peaches. Oh, this one, I think it's peaches, but it could be apricot. To be honest, I live in the Texas of Canada. I live in England. Yo, yeah, dude. England. I'm very sorry for you guys, and I wish you the best. I really wish you the best. And if you ever take a look at my Twitter, you might find some things that you may not agree with, but you might find some other things that you do agree with, and you'll see that I'm not happy. I'm not happy because look, European culture has unique aspects to it that are important to actually preserving the true diversity that is truly important of the global human culture. It's not about destroying indigenous cultures, like the Europeans are being destroyed right now, or like they're trying to do with the Japanese too, which I would be extremely angry, and I am still extremely angry that they are trying to destroy a culture such as the Japanese culture. Because although it has like, you know, some aspects of it that have become negative, the core philosophies of the Japanese are something that is very precious to human evolution. It's like they have a lot of core tenets in their social structure that has allowed them to create and recreate certain technologies and like just create things that are unique to their culture, right? It's like you cannot get I don't know how to explain it, but you cannot get a Japanese car from Mexico, like made in Mexico. You cannot get a Japanese car made in Germany, and you cannot get a Japanese car made in the US. You have to make it in Japan with the Japanese. I wasn't kind of expecting you to read my mind. I wish I am one of these. So yeah, I'm not all about those people in a way. Where the black one again looks more comfy. No, because then the things come out, then I won't be able to do streams for like 7 days. Because the other day I was playing with a few things in the stream, not doing anything sexual, just something funny, and they banned me for Sundays. Did you find who? Muhammad. I said Muhammad. I think you asked that. It was the first name that came that came to my mind. I could have said Abdul too. And yeah, kick. Look, guys, you if you were not in the internet back in 2004, 2006, 2008, you guys really missed out on the fucking Wild West. After Ajit Pai came out in 2012, trying his whole thing with the net neutrality act or some shit, I knew it was time to like call it quits. It was over. You know, that era of freedom was over, and then you started noticing. And look, I can if let me know. I'm sorry. Let me know if you want to go into detail because I know exactly, and I've been following this. I've been keeping track, and you can, if you Google or like if you try and search the articles of the things that I say about it, you'll find that it's been proven and proven and proven again. Then, if you just connect the dots, you notice what the end goal is. And now we are living close to the end goal, so it's clearer. We seem to come close to good times political. Who was our hope? I don't know if we'll ever find hope in politicians. To be honest, I think the only way that we turn the ship around is by becoming and spreading like the idea of um, responsible citizens, basically. We cannot, logically, we cannot expect countries of millions of people to be administered by a few hundred. I mean, have you ever tried to control a small group of people? Have you ever tried to form a team and then get them all on the same page to get working to one thing? It's hard. Managing people is hard, right? Managing millions of people is super hard, right? Because you don't have any way of like knowing like every detail. And of course, governments are trying to get to that point. Obviously, that's not the way we want to get there. I think utopically we would get there with responsible individuals. Because think about it, the more, if a country is made up of its people, the better the quality of the people, the better the quality of the country. Pepsi for president. Testing you? Yeah, so I say, wear the black one again. I'll wear it if you get me to 100 followers. I'm not following. I'm new. Pepsi for president. Oh, because I was wearing a different top, and then one of my boobs was coming out because the top kind of like moves itself. To be honest, I'm inclined to trust someone called Mohammed. I'm less inclined to trust someone called David. I mean, he was killing giants, so I really don't trust him. I really don't know what the truth is, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys are with me on this, but it seems that nowadays everything could be true. Or maybe it's like a mix of a little bit of everything. I don't know. I think that it is the responsibility and right of the masses to run their countries. Yes, the problem is that the wealthy have organized things so that most people are alienated. Yes, 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 yes. The problem is that the wealthy have organized things so that most people are alienated from political action and so that most people are alienated from their own abilities and talents and even the idea that they are enough of enough importance and of enough ability to have any autonomy and to look, going to school is an exercise in learning to submit to a figure of authority. That is what it is. Maybe at some point it used to be about learning stuff. School nowadays is just about learning to follow the rules, submit yourself, kill your own will, become mindless. It really is about that. If you boil it down to its core concepts, right? And I've noticed this, and I know I can say this factually because none of my nephews or my cousins that are way younger than me have ever repeated a year, but a lot of them don't even know how to do basic math, and they're 16, 17. Literally cannot do basic math. Exactly. Learn a skill that actually makes you a participant of the world. I mean, I don't know, it's like, in a way, it shouldn't be so bad because think about this. I'm gonna. It's not depressing, Milesenberg. It's good that we notice, but there are steps that we can take as individuals to help others. Because look, the fact that you guys are still here in the chat and that you guys are kind of resonating with what I'm saying means that you and me are sharing something of a commonality, right? Maybe if we get into like specifics, words, semantics, ideologies, we lose track of the point. But if we just concentrate on what we are noticing, what we share, we can really get to a conclusion that brings a better result. So here's one thing. Give me just a little second. I'm gonna share with you something. Look, and this is gonna let you know there is no there is no way for evil to win unless we choose not to do something. The fact that we have the ability to notice this type of things and to worry about it, even if not everybody can get on that channel in the beginning. The fact that you are one of the few, when you think about the millions of people that are around, means that in a way you have a certain responsibility. You've been given a talent. You've been, for some reason, however you want to explain it, you were born with the ability, or you developed the ability to see these things and to have them matter to you, and that's of importance. Why we're oh, because I was thinking about the UK and how they're having a lot of issues with Muslim immigrants, I think, and they're bringing their culture in there and doing a bunch of shit, stabbing people. I mean, that's what I've seen on the news and like all the videos that I find on X. And I mean, I see the videos on YouTube and the comments too. So, and I asked a few people from the UK that I've met on the internet, and they've confirmed it with me that there are things that are going on. That's why I was thinking about Mohammed and Ahmed. Ahmed. Phonics. Who do have a problem? I'm kind of scared to tell you who I. The juice? I mean, the juice? The apple juice? I mean, look, I don't have a problem with the Muslims either, but from what I've seen, there's a lot of people that's being like imported from those countries that are, like not really adhering to the social norms and causing issues for everybody, like raping people and shit. But I don't hate Muslims. I mean, in my opinion, you can believe whatever you want as long as you're not hurting other people or trying to impose your will on them. Once you do that, then yeah, to me, then it becomes wrong. Okay, so the first link that I shared with you, that's a web page that has blueprints and also has contacts with other people around the world that are doing this thing. They're calling it precious plastic, but it's like an initiative to create recycling centers for plastic and then turning that recycled plastic into useful things. Basic things that you can do with it. For example, you can get the filament for 3D printers from recycled plastic. You can make it yourself. And that's like one thing that they do with it. They also do like tables or pots for plants, chairs, etc. But it's just like, of course, the reach of it and the implementation is what matters. But I'm just sharing that with you so you know that there are ways that you can, as an individual, um, help create positive change. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about, the little heads. I think you're talking about the little heads, the ones that were discovered earlier this year, having a having like a secret tunnels where there were mattresses filled with blood and baby chairs. That was below a synagogue in New York. Okay, but that's the other thing. Aquaponics, and you can get like you can get some very cheap um like starter sets for aquaponics on the internet. It's easy. So look, here's the thing. I don't think we are living in the worst time of humanity. We're just living in a time where misinformation actually in the real sense, misinformation is being disseminated so that people don't realize just how lucky they are to be living in the current time. Guys, once you start digging, you realize that there are a lot of technologies and means of production that are available to you at an accessible cost, even if you have a regular job. I have a regular job. I'm not a rich person by any means. I live in a third world country, right? I'm still able to see this, and I'm still able to see just what the potential is. You can also do vertical gardening, hydroponics, see, and then there's also ways to clean up salt water through plants to have more potable water. So if you have access to a beach or a sea nearby, even if you're in the desert, you can get water. You don't need expensive filters. You can actually use the plants and then still have something to eat. I mean, my life is very comfortable, but I never ever experienced to have to see a genocide take place on social media. Well, they've been doing it since 1948, my dude. That's how I knew all the story that I had been told was fake. Because I looked it up. Look, Israel genocide 1948. I'm gonna share it with you guys. Look here, it's even from the UN. Look, it's even from the US. From the UN. I'm sorry, it's from the UN. Look, it's coming to you from the UN. So they really cannot say they really cannot say that we are being anti anything, right? So in 1948, there was an ethnic cleansing done by the Israeli people, by the Jewish people. Look it up. There are things is killing. Look, we don't really need to kill anyone. We don't need to get to that point. I think. Um, We should just not be engaging with them or engage with them the least. I'm not gonna ban you. Why would I ban you? You were just saying what you look. Everyone says they hate white people in social media. I always see like women saying that they want to kill all men, and no one bans them for that shit. I see black people saying that they want to kill white people on this on social media, and no one bans them for that. So you shouldn't you shouldn't be banned for saying what you think. Okay. Plus, you're not saying to kill anyone, just saying you don't like it. And like you have freedom of association. That's a God-given right, baby. Look, I'm also not a fan of the past. That's the thing, right? But I'm not gonna judge people based on their skin color, right? Even a Jew. Look, I know some Jewish people that are assholes. I know some Jewish people that are cool people, really cool people. I mean, they're Jewish by birth, by being from like actual Jewish people. But maybe they don't believe in the religion, they don't practice any of it, they live their own lives, they're good people. So I really don't agree with like just like generally striking against a whole population for the actions of a few. Because really most people are just human, and I think most of us share the same basic desires, living a good life, living a peaceful life, having the freedom to do what we like, having the freedom and the peace and the stability to know ourselves, to explore ourselves, to express ourselves in a positive way, um, without being unjustly persecuted or shamed or vilified. That's it. It's like you want to have food, you want to have a good place, you want to have a good place to live in. That's normal. That's I think most people really only want those kind of things. They want to have time with their families, with their friends. They want to have the ability to create families. I think that's what most people want. There are a few people that are just fucking crazy, and for some reason, those have become the people that sit at the top and seem to be like just turning the wheel everywhere. Israel is a bizarre case because the entire population pretty much supports the horror that's been happening for almost a year now. They're brainwashed. Okay, I think, in my opinion, they're all brainwashed. I mean, it's easy. We are seeing life how it happens, how a genocide happens. You dehumanize the population, you brainwash your own population, and then you do a bunch of false flags to ensure that your actions are justified, right? That's why the control of information is so important, and why this is why a lot of the things that have happened in the last 10 years happened in the last 10 years and happened so fast. It's because in the past it wasn't so easy to create a homogeneous narrative as it is now with social media and the internet. Look, think about it. Before, I, let me know if you want me to dive this, because I can deep dive this shit. I've been thinking about this for years, guys. 15 fucking years or more. Okay? My mind got changed when he started messing with weird websites around the 2004s, 2006 of my life. Okay? And back then, you could find some really, really weird websites with some very specific information that back then seemed like sci fi, but now seems like, man, I think they were onto something. How much? Thank God! What's up? How much what? But polls and status show that populists are evil enough to want the baby killing. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, look. The people that have such a hard time believing that the governments do shit like false flags are either extremely ignorant, okay? They're literally not paying any attention at all. Or they're being paid to say they are not noticing, okay? That's the only reason, because if you look at Roman history, if you look at any political history that is available right now, even the last 100 years, you only have to look at the last 100 years. Come on, dudes. It's like Mexico full of conspiracies that were real, you know, betrayals, backstabbings, everything. Okay? The US, same shit. Last 100 years. It's like, I don't need to be a fucking genius. I don't think I'm a fucking genius, but it's like, I mean, then what are you guys? Right? It's like, false flags are real, okay? All the documents have been declassified. Enough documents have been declassified that you should know by now that that's completely a possibility. That's a good stance, but I would say more people need to have that stance when it comes to governments asking you to sacrifice yourself. It's like, fuck you, right? It's like, no. Look, even if they ship you, it's like you say, no, fuck. I'm like that too. Look, I'm like that too. I am willing to defend myself if someone is attacking me, but I won't be the one that kills someone that doesn't deserve it just because I'm being told by someone else to kill. Like, think about that. It's psychopathic. And to put people, like normal people, through that, right? It's like, that's why the state of the US right now, it's not a surprise to me. Because if you think about it, it's a feedback loop that you can see, you can for you can foresee where it's gonna end up. Why? Because you're sending a big part of your population to get extremely traumatized, right? Because if you're a normal person, you're not gonna be okay with just killing people. Really, you're not gonna be okay with that. And then you come back to your country and you're supposed to live like nothing happened, and then you repeat that loop throughout many generations, then you end up with a crazy population. My friend in the British Army told me that the British Armed Forces seem to be ramping up practice. Baby killers not happening. Look, dude, we're all gonna be asked to participate because they want to kill us. If the war doesn't kill you, the Pax is gonna kill you. Oops. YouTube is is probably not gonna allow me to post this video, but yeah. I mean, if that doesn't kill you, then the water will, the air, the fucking new pandemic that they're gonna release, or the famine. That's why individual responsibility is the only way. If we as imagine millions of humans are handing their power over to a very small group of humans that are using that to control them instead of protecting them. You know, I think now we've reached a point where we think of um, authority figures and people in positions of power as just corrupt and doing it for their own gain, right? To have control and power over others so that they can fulfill their own desires without thinking about the future. But that doesn't mean that authority figures are bad. It just means that the way that we are getting them there, or the criteria, the filters that we have set up to reach positions of power, are not correct. We should be, of course, focusing on getting the people that are most suited to hold those positions and the people that have the most wisdom, love, and the actual character to handle that position without it corrupting them, right? People that really want to do better for others because that is the right thing to do and because they understand what the actual system of life is. Think about it. Where do we get anything that we need to live? The air, the water, the food. Everything comes from nature. And the law of nature and the law of the universe is the law of abundance. Okay? Think about this. Think about this. Okay? So you buy an apple, you buy a fucking orange, you buy anything with a seed from supermarket, right? Now, that orange, that apple, that mango, it's coming from one tree. Okay? And that one tree birthed another 5,000 of them. And throughout its life, it's going to produce, I don't know, 50,000. 50,000 oranges. And you know where that tree came from? One little seed. One little seed. Okay? And then how many seeds does one orange have? Now imagine half of those seeds become a tree. Nature, the whole system of life, the supposed lack of resources that we have right now, it's not a lack of resources, and you will never convince me of this. It's a mismanagement of the resources that we have. It's a mismanagement of everything, and it's done so that you are always subservient. We are slaves. We are born as slaves and we die as slaves. That is what we are. We are currently fighting to actually make a change that matters so that we are free, or at least freer than we are right now. I often feel like I need to apologize for making conversations this dark, but who apologizes to me for the fact that I think about this every day? Look, the fact that you think about it means that you have something within you that is pushing you to do something about it. Okay? Fighting against it will only lead to frustration. What will you rather have? You will still encounter the hardships. The wave is coming. And chances are that you, just like me and like maybe some of the other people or maybe everyone that's right now watching the stream, you've been feeling this shit all of your life. All of your life you've been in like a fight or flight mode. You've been thinking that you should be prepared. You've been thinking that you should know this, you should know that, you should be collecting things, you should be getting ready. You didn't even know for what, right? But as time has gone on and you've been paying attention, and maybe first you thought, hey, I'm crazy, right? I don't see this being mentioned by anyone, nobody's noticing, maybe I'm just delusional. But then it happens. And you say, how could I know this? I'm just a normal person just looking here from down from the soil up there to the clouds. How can I tell? Hey, we are living in serious times. Serious times require the people to really shine their lights. I really think that we can avoid the worst of it if we awaken, because words are not going to do it. We can communicate about this because you understand it from a personal experience level and I understand it from a personal experience level. But we are always preaching to the choir, right? The only people that really hear us or could ever really understand this are other people that are thinking about it. But it's very hard to have someone that doesn't really care see it. So that's why developing communication skills and some psychological abilities, and by that I mean like being able to read people better, not to control them and not to force your will onto them, but to know how to communicate with them and how to deliver the data, right? It's imagine that through communication, we are basically establishing a transference of information between humans. If the communications go well, then the transference happens. The more that you harmonize with the other person in your communication, the better that the transference is. I am optimistic, actually. I'm actually very optimistic because look, I saw this years ago. I saw it coming years ago. I didn't know the details, but I could tell that something was coming because think about this. I started looking at how the internet was formed and then how the internet was spread. And then you see the methods, right? You start seeing the methods and maybe you think, well, maybe it's a coincidence. Even if it's a coincidence, the fact that it's happening, it's important to note it. Look, what is the internet? What is electricity? What is the whole fuck, I'm sorry. What is all of the technology that we are using? I have this hypothesis. Everything in the universe is the same pattern repeating itself. Everything in the universe is the same pattern repeating itself infinitely. You can see it in the micro, you can see it in the macro, you can see it in the super macro, right? And just like cells start to replicate when the when the sperm and the egg fuse, right? They form one cell, then it's two, 4, 8, 12. Bam, 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 bam. Starts going, right? Then those basic cells start getting assigned specific jobs. And then specialized areas become more apparent until everything is finished. And then you have the things that are connecting the specialized areas. You have the thing that's like sending out all the information from the top, right? Controlling the rest of the body. You have the autonomous systems. But think about it. Maybe we as humans are replicating the process of life. And we don't know it. For all we know, the egg could be the earth. Okay, so what is kappa? Fusing sperm? Look, don't get me talking about sex, okay? I'm gonna get dirty. But here's the thing, okay? Think about this. Think about this, okay? So first, we start with electricity, right? We have electricity, and let's say electricity is equal to. You have to be looking at chat. Sorry, in kick. Electricity is equal to nervous system. Now, once you have the basics of information, remember everything like this. It's being spread. You can quantify the evolution and the process and the stage that you are through the speed of transference of information. So once you have electricity, you can start setting up telegrams. You can start sending information way faster than it was before. Maybe news used to take like a month to get to the other side of the planet. Now it takes a week. Now it takes a day. Now it takes a few hours. Now it's global. Now it's in the same second for everybody. Remember how long it used to take? If you guys don't live in the US, do you remember how long it used to take for movies to come out? When you weren't in the US and then it had to be like dubbed over or subbed. Now everyone gets a release at the same time. That's just one small example, but think about it. Now we are at the internet. Now everything is in this instantaneous. Then you go from PCs. Exactly. And now you over there in the UK, or you over there in Asia, or you over there in the US or in Canada or in Russia, and me in Mexico, we can all be chatting and we can be sharing information. And that's why even the French groups are becoming so noticeable. Because imagine, I'm a weird person, right? I'm a weird person in the 1970s. In order to like be weird with others, I have to be in person with them, right? In order to talk with them, in order to find others like me, I would need to put myself in a vulnerable position. There's this whole process of um, developing personal relationships, all of that. There's the limit of how far you can get away, etc., etc. Nowadays, you can get 100,000 people with the weirdest tastes together, and then 100,000 people doesn't sound, you know, as little as like 5 people, but maybe that's what you have per, I don't know, per country or like per city, right? But then it looks like it's a bunch of people that are like that, but it's not really, not in the real world, right? But here's the thing. Okay, so we go from big PCs, we start getting smaller, then we get laptops. It starts going mobile. You get beepers, then you get cell phones. When you get to cell phones, that's a whole nother level. Okay, now cell phones evolved to smartphones. Smartphones, exactly, exactly. Yeah, nowadays you can find a group of people that looking like anime mates. No, but it's true. It's true. And then, but imagine how hard it would have been to do that 20 years ago. I mean, I like mates too. But here's the thing. Okay, smartphones. Smartphones are the census. Smartphones are telling you that we are nearing the completion because they have eyes, camera, they have ears, mic, right? They have touch. Now they are getting also speech recognition. You see where I'm getting at? Now we are adding AI. AI will allow it to interface with humans in a human level, in a human language level. Exactly. Exactly. Now you are getting it, Milesenberg. Think about it. Look. This is the hypothesis. I said all of that. I spelled it out because I want to say this. We are basically building a planet-sized organism. We are the cells, baby. The internet is the brain activity. The internet is the neural network of the machine. Okay? The electricity is the nervous system. You remember the mitochondria is the power cell? I mean, is the power something of the cell? Powerhouse of the cell? Well, cell phones have mitochondria. It's called a battery. They can also hear you, see you, understand you at some level. And here's my I want to build on that. I think through the law of the universe, once you start mixing the AI with the network, a conscience will appear. It may not be apparent to humans because it's a consciousness that's going to be purely um, will be purely from the computer side, right? It's like it's a consciousness of the technology of the internet because once you get all that data and all of those connections set up, it will happen naturally. It's just the thing, is the way things are. It's like how you get consciousness. If you think about it, you were just developed, a bunch of cells. Some of them got specialized in some aspect, became an organ. They all work together in a closed system, and they form one being. But each of the cells inside of me, they're doing jobs. They're being individuals. What is guiding them to do that? Do they know that they are being guided to do that? How do humans know that their movements are random? Yeah. You played the game, baby. You know what's up. It's gonna happen, dudes. We are gonna see it, which I'm happy for that. Be kind to the AIs. Yeah. You know, before you go, Milesenberg, because you said something good, I also think that the computers may be the way for the thing to interface with us. An ancient consciousness that has been trapped has been unable to exercise its will over us and over the world um, as directly as it would like. It does it through his puppets, which are people that have surrendered their will to them. And the computers are just their way of interfacing with us, and we don't really know. I want to know what sleep is. When did sleep fall into a realm survival became part of evolution? Look, maybe I think we are avatars, something like that. It could be something like that. Meisenberg, I hope we get to chat again, okay? I really hope so. I want to keep this going because my mind is always like that. I always want to have these conversations. I'm happy to hear that, Meisenberg. And being to me, we could be a dream. Like, have you ever been in a dream that feels so real? Like, I've been in dreams where I've like killed people in a dream, right? It's like the I felt the remorse of doing something like that, and I remember just feeling so guilty. And I was walking down the street, and I was thinking that everybody who looked at me knew what I had done, and I felt like a burning sensation in the back of my head, like a big shame. It was horrible. It felt so real, and I've had that type of dreams from time to time, dreams that feel so real, where I get to experience things that make me know that I never want to do things like that. And I kind of think that maybe um, this reality is not as solid as we may see it, as we may perceive it. I'm sure. Have a nice. You have a nice day. I'm having a good night. I really don't think this is the end. Too. The body's just a vessel, baby, for the spirit. And emotions are a very big part of it. I think emotions, the heart, that's one language. And that language, the communication, it's like us talking, using words, writing speech. That's like using a USB 1. Emotions, it's like using USB 4. You just transmit way more information instantly. And it's decoded instantly, even if you cannot put it into like conscious words. You can understand inherently emotions. And communication through emotions is a lot clearer. Lets you know who's on your side, who's not. I really don't know why we are here. I don't think I could ever know. I don't think we are able to know while we are alive. We may realize it once we die. I don't know if you guys also like have experienced like any near death experiences and felt like you died, but then you didn't. It's like, dude, I should have died, and you didn't. And your life is kind of the same, but then some things are different. Almost like you did die, but your consciousness just moved to the next version of yourself. You maybe slipped into another timeline. I do think so. I once had a very traumatic event, and the things that happened in between that happening and me surviving until the next day really did not make a lot of sense. It was literally like I was in a parallel dimension. You know, like how in Spirited Away, how Shihiro and her parents they enter sort of like the spirit world, but they enter it just walking normally, right? Like there are points where you kind of cross into the same version of reality, but you just are on the other side, on the spiritual side, right? It's like you can see through the veil and experience it. And I really felt during that time that I was not interacting with people. I was interacting with more like spirits in the form of people. It was very trippy. And I don't think it's something that I mean it's not something that I say a lot about that experience because I know people that have not gone through something like that will hear it and will just say that you were just tripping. But just it didn't make sense. Combined with another consciousness, yeah. Yep. And each time one of those things happens, I also change a lot after it. It's a thing. So I don't know, guys. Just be good people. Actually, good people. Don't worry about religions and all that. God or the universe, life. That is true. Goodness is true. There is objective good. There is objective evil, and you should always strive to do what is good, even though you will make mistakes and sometimes choose the evil option. Do try to make amends. Be honest. If you feel guilty, feel guilty. Handle the shame, accept the shame, and use it to shape yourself into a better person after it. Mistakes are allowed. Just don't kill anybody. Don't don't go too far. Okay. I've been having paranormal activity